Boys and girls, tell me what you think of this. Time for a lesson about photosynthesis. Cells use light to combine water, carbon dioxide. Gonna see electrons go for a wild ride. Making sugar, making sweet O2. But why should photosynthesis matter to you? Food on your table, O2, rich atmosphere. Without photosynthesis, you simply wouldn't be here. Photosynthesis is a redox reaction powered by light using enzymatic action. Water's oxidized, CO2 is reduced. The sugar that results, you drink it orange juice.
The overall reaction has two phases. First, light reactions for its basis, light power production of ATP. O2 is a byproduct, and you will see production of electron carrier, NADPH, which provides the reducing power needed in the second phase. Because NADPH during phase 2 provides what's needed for reducing CO2, NADPH is made by reduction of NADP+, whose function is to absorb electrons and pick up H, gaining energy and making NADPH.
Phase 2 is the Calvin cycle, makes carbohydrates like sugars and starches and fibers on your lunch plate. Yeah, it's how plants make food and animals eat. Photosynthesis, it's so sweet. In a leaf there's mesophyll tissue, and the cells with chloroplast key to the issue. Chloroplasts are almost like cells in every way, with their own ribosomes and their own DNA. They even reproduce themselves by splitting into half. A clue for this organelle's independent past. This theory has more endocytosis, developed in the 60s by Lennon Margolosis. Inside the chloroplast in the fluid stoma. It's true. It's true in Rome.
Stroma surrounds little thylakoids. Each one has a hollow space inside. The thylakoid's membrane is loaded with protein, cause it's the light reaction scene. It's all about using light for powering electrons. It's all about grabbing the power in photons. Photons needed are those from light, which has the energy to make the world bright. The highest frequency that we can see is violet light with wavelength 380. 380 nanometers sounds small, but next to gamma rays it's rather tall. Red light shines at 750, isn't the visible spectrum nifty?
Photons are packets of light energy, both a wave and a particle you see. Photons get absorbed by pigments, hardly grew over green. The line of growth is a reflection of photosynthesis, the action spectrum. Note that this won't match exactly. The absorption of spectrum, chlorophyll A or B, causal keratoids and xanthophylls we've met. Absorb light frequencies the chlorophyll can't get, and in the thylakoid they all cooperate in using light to synthesize carbohydrate. Consider chlorophyll in isolation. Shine some light upon it called photoexcitation. The valence electrons in magnesium. It's real, it's true, it ain't no figment. Most important are green chlorophylls, orange carotenoids, and yellow xanthophylls. Together they absorb light, mostly red and blue. The green is not absorbed, it reflects back to you.
Engelmann showed us the action spectrum. Use a prism to break the sun's light into frequencies. Shown it on Spiraea. Filamentous algae. The O2 algae make with stimulant bacteria, which will grow in any oxygen-rich area. Bacteria loved it. Over blue and red. Jump to excited state. It's so fun. But once that level, they can only fall back to where they started, like a bouncing ball. These falling electrons release energy, flushing as red light, as you can see.
But in thylakoids, chlorophyll's not alone. Instead, photosystem B, chlorophyll's home. Photosynthesis parts can take photons, and we use energy to make electrons. The system's antenna complex does the photo capture, changing proton to electron rapture. Energized electrons bounce like a ball. At the reaction center, they jump but don't fail. The primary electron acceptor grabs them from the top. They yank them with the force. Reaction center cannot stop. To this oxidized reaction center will return. But the details of the electron flow and now is it's time to learn. Non-cyclic flow is the main pathway. Much confusion reverberates in this way. Photosystem 2 precedes photosystem 1. It's a fact that memorize, just get it done. PS2, antenna captures photon, generates the flow of the electrons. All around the world, even in Haiti, they follow the reception center P6080. Do not have her. Electron acceptor passes them over to electron transport chain in the thylakoid membrane.
This chain's like a bucket brigade. Each molecule has a similar trade. They take energized electrons and use their energy for pumping protons from stroma to the thylakoid space, packing protons into that place. This makes a gradient across the thylakoid membrane. The protons want out or they'll go insane, but protons can't penetrate. The membrane won't allow escape. There's only one part through which they travel. It's the ATP synthase channel.
The ACE tells you this is an enzyme which makes ATP all the time. It has binding sites for ADP and P and channels for diffusing protons and kinetic energy. Changes the binding site conformation, fusing ADP with P, which forms your information. It is how thylakoids make ATP, life's key form of energy. From respiration, this might feel familiar. ATP is made this way in mitochondria. Photosynthesis is the name. ATP production is the game.
Back to our electrons moved by the sun, flowing from photosystems 2 to system 1. They get to photosystem 1 like a used up battery. The transport chain used up their energy. But when light hits photosystems 1 antenna, electrons bounce to reaction center. This one's P700. That wavelength makes electrons go. Photosystem 1 electron acceptor grabs them away, leaving P700 in an oxidated way. And P700 with its oxidated blues accepts the electrons from photosystem 2. Back to electron from photosystem 1, and now goes for a ride, having its own fun. But powering proton pumps ain't its fate. It travels to NAD plus reductase, and MZI plant cells count upon to pass some aged electrons to NADP plus, which gets reduced. It's how NADPH gets produced.
The byproducts of these light reactions is oxygen. Here's how it happens. Back in photosystem 2, it came to a rise. The P680 got oxidized. To replace lost electrons, P60 liberates electrons from water, which dissociates into one oxygen and protons 2. A single O will meet another, forming O2. These protons are formed in the thylakoid space, increasing proton concentration in that place. So we see a side effect of water's oxidation is enhancement of ATP creation.
We're done.
Shout out to my man.
Mr. Swaves.
Snap 100 on this, John.
But I'm not a rapper.